Good evening, guys. Hello. I'm going to talk about automation today. We are in day 5 of the Automation One-on-One. And I want to smash a few myths about automation because when I speak with women, especially, um, they always say to me that, automation is too expensive and it's time consuming. I don't have time. I'm busy, I'm stressed as it is. I don't have time to automate my business. And this is actually a myth. And I want to talk about a few of the myths that are very popular. So hopefully you can, embrace the concept of actually the importance of automating your business and what it actually means for you, what it helps you to do. So, first off, let's talk about myth number one is a lot of people think that when you automate your business, it will actually fix your processes. That is actually not true, because if your processes are not good, if they're lacking serious sequence and they are not optimized, and you actually spend way too much time on these processes and they're not optimized for time to save you time, then automating them will not help you, will actually make the problem a lot bigger. It will make it worse. So before you can automate a process, you need to understand the process, what it actually does, and whether you can optimize it, whether you can make it better, whether you can remove some of the steps in the process so you can save time. Because once you automate that process, then if it's not optimized before you automate it, it's only going to point out more problems and make life harder for you. So that can potentially be a problem. The second myth is that, will it solve all your problems? No, of course it won't, because businesses change, the way we market our business changes, so you have to adapt all the time. And even if you have your business automated to a large extent, and it gets kind of, you can remove yourself from the business to an extent, you have to stay in tune and in touch with the pulse of marketing and what's going on, because chances are you need to improve your processes and your automation consistently. You can't just let it go and then disappear forever. You actually got to tweak it, you got to work with it, and you got to adapt it to whatever is happening at the time. And if you go into business automation in the beginning with this understanding, it will be a lot easier for you to actually adapt to this. The third myth is, will automation reduce costs? It depends. It depends what software you're using, what applications you're using. But what it will definitely reduce is the friction in your business. Because right now, chances are you are spending way too much time and energy doing the same old repetitive tasks in your business every single day, week after week, month after month. And by going from task to task that are not automated, and you're doing that stuff manually, you're actually wasting precious time. And time is more valuable than money, because you cannot get back time, but you can always make more money. So you need to really understand the power of automation. And if automation is done right, it can help you save a ton of time, which you can then invest into your family, into the people that you want to spend more time with, and still get everything done in your business as well. So be conscious about the fact that it's not necessarily about reducing cost, especially not in the short term, because you have to maybe invest in certain software to make it possible, make it easier, but it will reduce friction. And that is a lot more valuable to us as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, than the short term investment that we may have to make into these softwares and applications. Myth number four is, automating a business is too expensive. Um, I would actually disagree, because what's expensive is the manual labor, and you are manually laboring every single day in your business if you keep doing the same repetitive tasks over and over and over again. That is actually costing you a ton of money. And we tend to look at if we remove ourselves from our business and we start hiring team, it's going to cost us money we don't have. But the thing is, it's worth the short-term pain of investing your money into building a team that can then help you remove yourself from your business, so you get out of the way of your business and you can actually focus on the stuff that really matters. The high the bird's eye view of your business, which allows you to strategize and to envision the future and actually take the right steps so you can adjust your trajectory at any given time depending on market conditions. But you cannot do that if you're stuck in the nitty-gritty of your business every single day. And that is as important for small-time business owner, for mums and pups in business, as it is for corporations. You need to be able to become the CEO of your business and actually take a higher view so that you can, adjust, and you have the mental capability to actually think about what really matters and what doesn't matter. And once you get into this and you start to understand how powerful this is and automation can be, you will never look back. You will never have the same perception about business again. And myth number 5 is a lot of people think it's time consuming because, you have to create your SOPs, your standard operating procedures and all of that stuff. But actually it's not. You can, you don't have to make it complicated. What you need to do is you need to record your processes and your systems as you go along. And if you do that and you take a little bit of extra time out of your day and you actually record your processes as you go through them and step through them, then once they're recorded, you don't have to do it again. You only have to adjust them based on updates and things like that. So, creating an automation like a systemized business is not really that time consuming if you commit to it, and it will save you a ton of time down the track. So if you're afraid of automation, don't be. Start looking into it. And if you want my help, if you want, you want to chat about how that would look like in your business, how can you actually automate your business? Like, what does it actually mean to you in your particular situation? Then reach out to me and we'll have a chat about it. Because the more I look into this and the more I learn about automation and systems and, being able to get out of the way of my business, the more excited I become, because it is so powerful and I see the power of it working in my business already. Okay. I've committed to getting myself out of the way. And I now have a small team of people who work for me, freelancers, and, just for them, like for me, being able to see that the work gets done without me having to be present is really powerful. And sure, I'll do the work that, that I need to do in my business, but now I can actually step back and focus on the future and what I actually want to do and how I want my business to be in the next 3 to 5 years. So, I'm excited, and I think you should be excited. If you want to scale your business, you should be excited about automation and systems, but it can be quite overwhelming. So if you're overwhelmed with it, but you're interested, you're curious, reach out to me and we'll have a chat, okay? But other than that, I'll catch you tomorrow with the next live in the series. Until then, have a wonderful day, have a wonderful evening wherever you are, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.